Hey guys, it's Mandy, and welcome to week 2 of the Mental Health Motivation Monday series. Today's episode, we're going to talk about some of the methods I have used to help with anxiety. So in middle school, high school, when, I didn't understand what the heck was going on, I used the cry method. I shouldn't laugh. But yeah, there's really no way to sugarcoat it. I just cried. And there was, in retrospect, this probably wasn't the best of choices. I probably should have asked for help. And I suppose I should add music. And it was in the time of emo pop punk, so, teenage angst, everybody felt the same way, right? So as an adult, when I had a little more control over my medical options, I realized while working at a very toxic work environment that me crying every Sunday before I had to go to work, and sometimes even during the week crying before I had to go to work, was not good. That is not the way it's supposed to go. Those are not, I don't want to say normal feelings because people feel like that, but that is not an okay normal feeling. You shouldn't be at a job that makes you cry every night, but that's not okay. It is okay to feel that way, but it's not okay. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm saying, right? So what do I do about it? I've been lucky enough to just be able to go to my primary care physician and just kind of explain to him that this is what's happening to me. I don't think that's a good thing. At this time, my primary care physician was this amazing, very, 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 very old man who had been my doctor for a very long time. And I always loved him as a doctor because he never went for the medical route, or I should say pharmaceutical route, if it wasn't necessary. He wouldn't prescribe me something I didn't need. So his nurse, who you would see before your appointment, was one of his sons. He had twin sons, so it was hard to decide which one you're seeing, but super, super nice, great guys. So here I am by myself in a room trying to explain the feelings that I have and why I don't want to have feelings like that, and if it's even possible for me to have feelings and make those feelings go away. I'm an 18-year-old kid, barely an adult, so what do I know? I explained to him, look, every night before I go to work, I cry. I feel like there's a big weight on my chest. My heart starts racing. If I allow that to keep happening, I start to get headaches. And I swear, Doc, I'm trying to drink water. I don't know what else I can do. And of course, the obvious things like working out, getting outside were some options. But as I started to literally break down and start crying, I was an absolute mess. It felt embarrassing at the time. I was like, I can't believe I'm sitting here crying to this guy, telling him how hard my life is and how terrible everything is when I'm 18 years old and I still have a whole world ahead of me. But I think that's what needed to happen. And it's a great thing that it did. And with that, he acknowledged that my feelings were real. When I am feeling, other people feel too. And it's not something that just 18-year-olds who just, left their parents' house are going through. Well-established adults are going through this. Bill Gates goes through this. Everybody goes through this. It's not just a me thing. At this time, they diagnosed me with my anxiety. They gave me a very, very low dose of Xanax. Did it work? Yeah. But knowing what I know now, do I think that was a good choice? Honestly, I struggle with that when I look back. Xanax is a great drug when used the way it's supposed to be used. One way to kind of look at it. If you have diabetes, you take insulin, and that's okay. If you have anxiety, you can take Xanax, and that's okay. Or Xanax doesn't make the problems go away, just makes them not feel so bad. So I eventually left that job, and things got much, much easier. And it kind of just all worked out. So I realized I really didn't need to take that anymore because things were going good. So I weaned myself off of that. I was very proud of myself that I no longer really needed any medication. So I was doing good. I started working out. So about this time, I'm working at a chiropractor's office. Things are good. I'm not on any medication. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches and I'm handling it. So kind of off topic, before my pregnancy, I did have endometriosis. Anybody who has endometriosis knows it's super painful. Periods are like the worst, so on and so forth. Maybe we'll do a video on endometriosis down the road. If you would like to see a video like that, tell me in the comments that, yeah, we want to know your experience about endometriosis. If you're into it, I can make it happen. So I'm at this health fair. I have a cyst, an ovarian cyst popping. I'm in so much pain. It's awful. I am representing the chiropractic office here, and then the booth next to me is a sweet lady named Kim, who is an acupuncturist representing her business. As I'm like holding on to like a pole dying, she's like, honey, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Just ovarian cyst popping. It's all good in the hood. I'll be all right. And she tells me, I can help you with that. This problem I've been having since I was like 13, 14 years old. You can help me with that. As I look at her brochure that has like you mean to tell me your strategically placed needles are going to help me with a problem I've had since I was 13, 14 years old? And she goes, yeah. So then she offers me a free visit. Okay, I can't turn down a free visit. I mean, what's the harm in trying? So I go to the appointment, and I kid you not. So she tells me, show her my tongue. And literally, she looks at my tongue and has defined like everything wrong with me. Everything that I'm not even there for. And I've got like coffee tongue probably, thinking witchcraft, There's no way. This is crazy. Super crazy. She does her thing, and it's literally, for me, like 20, 30 minutes. Within 15 minutes, I literally feel like I'm high as a kite. Like, I'm closing my eyes, like listening to like the meditation music, so on and so forth. And I literally got to the point where I was like, Amanda, I dare you to open your eyes. And I can't. Because I am just so, like, at peace. I am so zenned out that I literally couldn't open my eyes. And I would try. I'm like, come on, open them. Like, open them. And it's like, no, I'm way too happy. I cannot open. And then, maybe 5 more minutes later, whatever the case may be, I spring right up. And I'm like, okay, here we go. We're ready. Let's rock. Let's do something. Let's go have some Taco Bell. Let's just go. I am so amped. I'm so ready. I'm so positive. It's the craziest feeling. I'm like, okay, I definitely felt something. Those strategically placed needles did something. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, wait until your next period comes. Let me know, if it makes any improvements. And I'm like, this is just, it just seemed like witchcraft. There was just no way. And sure enough, next period comes and goes, and it's not nearly as bad. And I'm like, that's crazy. Crazy. So I call her up and I'm like, okay, witch doctor, you did it. How do I make sure this keeps going? Because this is awesome. So I go see her once a month. We're doing good endometriosis wise. Everything is great. And then I get the idea of hey, can you do anything for anxiety and depression? She goes, yeah, of course. No problem. No big deal. I got you. And I'm like, I can't even right now. Mind blown, right? So she does her thing. I noticed that literally it was I could go home. The dogs could poop all over the wall. And I would literally be like, huh, that's unfortunate. We should probably start cleaning that. As opposed to losing my mind. That's great, right? Am I right? That's great. It even got to the point to where my husband would say, when was the last time you saw Kim? Because I would start getting irritable, and then I would start getting antsy. And for me, I was able to be enough in tune with my own body to know that if I started feeling like I was going to have a panic attack, I would look at the calendar and be like, oh, it's been a little over a month since I last saw Kim. I should probably go do that. So obviously acupuncture was a huge, huge pivot to my healing with mental health. Link in the description below. If you are local to me, I went ahead and put the link for Kim specifically down below. You know, if you look her up on Instagram, Facebook, things like that, shoot her a like, tell her that that I said hi. She's been a huge help. I should probably make a whole episode on acupuncture and my visits with her, because I still to this day feel that she was able to help me get and stay pregnant with my son. And I learned a lot with acupressure during my pregnancy, and that helped a lot too. So truly, I probably have enough stuff to make a whole video on that. If you'd be interested in that video, tell me in the comments below. Probably a good time to go ahead and tell you if you're having fun here, if you're finding value, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the like, let me know how I'm doing. So I'm doing that, I get pregnant, have my son, everything's fine and dandy. Because this is like what we talked about in week 1, where once you become a parent, things get different again. And yes, acupuncture helped, definitely took the edge off of things. But at this time, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to eat the way I'm supposed to. It's like, hey, I got a burger, at least I'm eating. So that was when I decided, okay, maybe we should look into medication. However, I didn't want to do Xanax. I didn't want to take something that I knew after 6 months I was going to need a little more, and then another 6 months I was going to need a little bit more. That was not the plan that I wanted. So my idea was that I want to take one pill once a day and just feel okay enough where I can handle it via my acupuncture or via the once in a while that I would have time to myself. So that's when I started my antidepressants. Apparently a lot of the feelings I was having was more than just anxiety related. I was what my doctor would describe as just, I don't want to say tired, because of course, when you're a new parent, you're tired, but I just wasn't happy. And it wasn't like a postpartum depression. My son was probably about 1 year or 2 years old by this time. It was just, what am I besides a mom, an optician, a wife? Like, who am I? What am I? Do I have value? And apparently those sort of things are signs of depression. Mild signs of depression, of course, and nothing too intense. So my doctor decided that an SSRI would be a good way to go. If you don't already know, an SSRI is a selective serotonin replacement inhibitor. So basically the natural happiness that's in your head called serotonin isn't producing as much as considered normal. So this SSRI will help give you some of the happy thoughts, giving me more life, if you will. So with an SSRI, you definitely can feel a lot of symptoms the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of starting one. Definitely be sure to talk with your doctor about what will work best for you, what to expect, things of that nature. If you're not feeling 100%, check with your doctor to see if there's maybe a different medication you could try. I was lucky enough that the first one that I tried worked great for me. I was golden. Again, I've been very lucky to find things that work for me fairly quickly without trying really, really hard. And I know that's not always the case. So be sure that if the first medication you try isn't what's gonna work best for you, to tell your doctor. It's okay to try something different, and it's okay if your journey to find what works for you is not quick and easy. But it's worth it. Get it figured out. Thank me later. Again, if you're finding value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. The thumbs up down here. Brings us to where we are present day. I now take a antidepressant, which is my SSRI. I pretty much only take Xanax if I have something that I know is going to trigger me really hard the next day. For example, going on airplanes, if I have a big meeting where I have to talk, things of that nature, I will take a Xanax the night before. I really don't ever take Xanax during the day. I do feel that it numbs me a little too much to where I don't I wouldn't say I don't like the person I am on Xanax during the day. I just don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like to some degree you have to take on your triggers head first a little to help kind of desensitize you. Again, this is just my feelings. I don't necessarily recommend that for everybody. Check with your doctor if they feel that that's a good choice. Works for me, may not work for you. So be careful. When you realize that you're going to be okay and you're gonna get through this, that's a very helpful thing for when you tackle that trigger later on. We recently went on a trip where I had to go on an airplane, and I was very, very proud of myself. I really didn't have to overly medicate for it. I did take my Xanax the night before. I definitely did want an alcoholic beverage like first thing in the morning to go on that flight. But I did fairly well. In retrospect, I did good. And I was really proud of myself. And I think, again, when you battle it head on, you realize you're gonna be okay. The odds of you dying are very slim. And you're gonna be okay. And then you realize that, hey, I was okay. And then when you go to do it again, you're like, I'll be fine. I did it last week, and here I am. I'm fine. Let's do it one more time. So present day, I pretty much just rely on my acupuncture and my medication. I am happy to report that I still only take one medication a day. It's the same milligrams that I've been taking for probably about 1.5 to 2 years now. So I was really glad to be able to kind of just function on that. Do I still have issues? Absolutely. Am I able to kind of talk myself down from those feelings? Yeah. I might get a little combative with my husband if I have to do something I really don't want to do, or I know I'm not going to feel comfortable. I will fight the power on that a little bit. But I think over the years, he's kind of realized that me hitting it head on is helpful, and forcing me to do things I don't always want to do. As much as I hate it in the moment, and as much as that may sound bad, it helps me in the long run. So here's to going camping next week in a tent. No electricity. Who knows what kind of cell phone reception. Am I gonna have enough water? Am I gonna pee outside, like really? Or like how far of a walk is it to the bathroom? Maybe we should make a part B episode on that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there is some mental health comedy videos down in another playlist where I wouldn't say I make fun of my anxieties. I'm just saying it's a creative outpost of my feelings that kind of help me feel better. And am I right? Like, that's what this is all about. What you gotta do to make you feel better. Whether that's painting, exercising, acupuncture, medication, YouTube videos, creative content, whatever works for you, as long as it's healthy and it makes you happy, it's probably all right. Remember, happy, healthy, probably all right. If it's questionable, check with your doctor. Make sure it meets those criteria of happy, healthy, and doctor approved. So friendly reminder, I am not a physician, I am not a psychotherapist, I am not a therapist, psychiatrist, any of that jazz. I'm just a licensed optician who has had anxiety and depression pretty much their entire lives. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. If you feel like you do need professional help, feel free to look into some of the links down below. Seek help if you feel it's needed. Otherwise, these are just my personal opinions. So we're gonna go ahead and end today's episode there. Hopefully you're enjoying this series, the Mental Health Motivation Monday. The past 2 weeks have just kind of been about me, which, let's be real, I'm a typical Leo. I love when it's all about me. But next week, we're going to start a little bit more on the motivational side of things. About time, Amanda. It's been 2 weeks. We want to hear motivational stuff. We're going to work on that next week, I promise. But I just want to make sure that you kind of know where I'm coming from, where I've been, kind of give some sort of reputation that I sort of know what I'm talking about, but for the legal beagles, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just opinions. But hopefully you're finding some value. Hit that subscribe button to make sure you are in tune for next week. Like, subscribe, hit me a comment. Let me know if you're finding value in this. Let me know what kind of things that you have gone through personally. And hope to see you next week. And as always, it's okay to not be okay. We're gonna get there. And it's gonna be okay. It's okay if you're not okay right now. Hey guys, it's post-production Mandy. As you can see, I'm trying really hard on improving the quality of these videos. The intro that I made is probably the coolest thing I've ever done, and the end card's not too shabby either. As I start to learn Photoshop and videoing and all that fun stuff, I'm really hoping that this is going to be the last of the video quality. So I appreciate your all's patience and hope you're enjoying everything. See you soon! Hey guys, it's post-production Mandy. Here's just another little clip that I'm trying to work on to see how the quality of the video works out. So I hope you're enjoying everything, and I really appreciate your guys' patience while I figure all this fun stuff out. If you are having a good time watching me grow as a YouTuber, feel free to mention something a little nice in the comments.